Hello, my Blockhead beauties. It's your girl, that Wahlburgers chick, coming to you with another episode of A Day in the Life of a Blockhead. Now, my guest today is none other than Amy from Kansas. Say hi, Amy.
Hi.
So now I got to bring you back a little bit, right? And I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everyone. Who is your favorite new kid and what song did it for you?
Well, Danny is my favorite new kid. For a while, I liked Donnie when I was younger, when I was probably about 11 or 12, but then it changed to Danny for the rest of the time. So I don't know, since I was probably 13 till current, it's been Danny. Um, the song I think that really done it for me was Valentine Girl.
Valentine. Oh my God, I love that song
I
so much.
do too.
I really love that song, but that's not usually what the Blockheads tell me. So that's actually interesting. Valentine Girl.
Yes.
Was it
I don't
was
know
it
what it's about it. It was just something I liked about it that brought me. I guess I like the idea of the love and everything, and so kind of just like watching them sing it, and it's like, oh my gosh, So I think
I
that's it.
know. I fell in love with that too. I mean, Jordan's falsetto is like the
Right.
it's like the truth, girl. I'm telling you. I love it. I love it. So
Oh yeah.
then did your room look like the rest of ours? Like we had posters upon posters everywhere.
Yes, it did. I could have used it as wallpaper. You couldn't really see 1 ounce of my wall at all. It was all covered with posters and the little pictures from the magazines and everything.
Mhm.
So yeah, all new kids all the time.
I know, right? And then like because I used to have it even on the ceiling. You couldn't see the ceiling. You couldn't
I
see
didn't have
the
mine on there, but on the ceiling, but I did have it almost everywhere else.
right. Did you have it on your furniture, like on your dresser?
Yeah, I had like little pictures of them everywhere, like had a picture of them on the dresser and then I even like pasted my whole dresser with nothing but pictures of them. So it was like a new kid's dresser because um I had all their pictures and stuff on it. My mom was even a fan, of New Kids, so she took me to my first concert and everything. So, yeah, she's no longer with me, but she is still with me, in other ways. But
Mm.
she was a Jordan girl herself, so she always bought me the magazines and things like that. So all kinds of cool memories in that respect. But
Nice. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Okay. So did you get to like write on your clothes? Like back in the day, we used to write on our clothes and stuff like that and bedazzle like everything. Did you do that?
yes, we did. I don't know how many t-shirts that I had went through, with bedazzling and writing on them and doing my own little designs and whatever. I don't know how many shirts I went through, but I swear there's probably not one that wasn't marked with some kind of new kid something, or if I didn't write on it, I had pins or something all over it that had to do with them. So I even went as far as to my friend and I went and did our own New Kids on the Block story and stuff like that. So
Oh my God, that's awesome.
yeah,
So
I don't even know what happened to it, but it was amazing. We would do different parts. Like I'd write the whole like part. Then I'd let her borrow the book and she'd, write a part and then we'd pass it back and forth and just write parts. So
oh my God, you had like your own little book of new kids' memories and stories.
yeah.
Oh my God, that's so amazing. Because now can you imagine at this age going back and reading like
Oh,
what you wrote when you was little and be like trying to understand that headspace you was in back then?
yeah, and you look at it and I'm going, what was I thinking?
Oh, see, but as adults, we're still acting like that every time the guys come on stage. We're like,
We're like we revert back to our teenage years and those years when we first met them. Is like, oh my gosh, like I'm
I
not one of the to go up
know.
and scream in their faces or anything, but and
Yeah.
I never have been, but like I get that rush when I see them and it's like, oh my goodness, one of those kind of
Oh my
things.
God, I know, me too. I can't help it. And then so like, did you get up every Saturday morning to watch the cartoons?
Oh yeah, I couldn't miss that, and I
Mhm.
would be upset if I did miss it.
I love the cartoons, and I mean, seeing it now is like, oh God, but I loved it. And you couldn't tell me nothing. Like, I would have my 10 cents pack of annihilators or whatever, and I would go sit
Oh
in
yeah.
front of the TV and I'm watching these. I'm watching the cartoons and everything that came after.
That was a good snack though to have when you're watching your Saturday morning cartoons. You just had your own little stash of snacks right there.
Yeah, it was unhealthy, but that's okay. I mean, we were kids, right?
Right, exactly. That's what kids are supposed to do.
Pretty much, pretty much. And did you have like the dolls and the stage and all that?
I didn't have the stage or anything, but I did have the dolls. They weren't like the regular. I had like I think Donnie, Danny, and Jordan of the dolls. I didn't have John or Joe because I couldn't find those. But and then I had the really little miniature dolls that they had that
Yes.
um yes, those. I had those. I had all of those.
Yeah, I still have them like right there.
That's cool. I thought I saw some, but I didn't know if that was them or not.
It's them. I mean, I have all of them, but the little ones stay up there.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Okay, so then you lived out your little fantasy when you was little, and then you did you pretend to be like Mrs. Wood, like
Oh,
the
I so did. I was always like making up my own scenarios and and going, yes, I'm Mrs. Wood. And it was funny because even when I was younger, I was practicing signing my name as Amy Wood. And I would just be practicing my name. My friend would be practicing hers. I think she was a Joey girl. So she'd be practicing McIntyre and stuff like that. It was just all kinds of fun, wacky stuff us kids did. And it just made it fun, we created things to do.
Yeah, I had me and my bestie because I was a Joey girl when I was younger, right? I mean,
Oh,
I still have a special place in my heart for Joey. Donnie just got me now, but I still love my Joey, and he was my first. And so I was always like Mrs. McIntyre, like you. And then she was Mrs. Knight because she was a Jordan girl, so it was like
oh,
Knight and McIntyre. Yeah,
oh, that's cute.
And then we would take whatever New Kids dolls we had because we didn't have all of them. I only had Joey. Okay, and I think
Oh,
she had Jordan. And we would have them and we would put our stuffed animals and then make a concert while we play the songs.
oh,
And we would say, Joey looked at me,
right. Well, and I never actually did the like. Of course, like I said, I didn't have the stage, but I did try to like hook them up with my Barbies and stuff. Like
Yeah.
make them each have a date, and one of the Barbies would be me, and the other Barbie would be like a friend of mine, and then we'd just make up our own names for the Barbies, and that would be us. And so,
Oh my God, if we could just go back to when we was innocent, right?
I know it.
I love these stories. I do. I do. So then now we get a little older, right? And
Yep.
then in 94 the guys broke up. How did that make you feel?
Oh, I was heartbroken because they had been a good part of my life for all those years. And I was kind of devastated actually when I heard they broke up because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to see them again. Are they ever going to be, anywhere? And by that time, I'd had my first child, so I was a mom, and I wanted to be able to introduce my kids to, you know, them and everything. So I was like, oh my gosh, are they ever going to get back together? Am I ever going to be able to, other than the older stuff, am I going to be able to show my kids any of the current stuff, which they've seen? All four of my kids have seen all of the stuff. They know how big of a fanatic I am. so,
Mine
so
too.
yeah, I think I was heartbroken. Like I cried.
Yeah. I mean, I was in high school.
Mhm.
So definitely it was at that time I got into grunge,
Right.
because that's what was going on back then. But
Oh,
I mean, I it was only like one boy band I ever fell in love with. And I was heartbroken too, but then it's like, all right, I guess this is the time where we're supposed to grow up and stuff.
right.
But then in 99, oh my God. Then Jordan comes out with a solo, Joey came out with a solo, Danny came, and I'm just like, is this happening? Like when you heard that Jordan came out with an album, like how did that make you feel?
I was excited because I was like, well, at least that shows some aspect that, they're still around in some way. It may not be as a group, but they as themselves are still around in some way. So at least I was thinking, if it's only Jordan, that's fine. At least that's one new kid that is still around. But I would, was always curious about what the others were doing
Mm,
too.
And then Joey came out with his.
Exactly.
So then when he came out, what were you thinking?
I was like, okay, there's two. Is there going to be any more? Because I knew John probably wouldn't, because as shy as he was, wasn't sure with Donnie, but I wasn't really sure with Danny, because I thought, I always used to think Danny was really shy, so I wasn't sure if he was going to do anything, but for sure I was like, okay, there's two. Is there going to be any more coming out with anything, like whether it be an album or what? Are they going to come out with it? And then boom, there's Danny.
And there goes your man. That was my next question. So now your favorite comes out with his album. You got to tell me how that felt for you.
Oh gosh, I was so ecstatic. I felt like I had reverted back to my teenage years again. Because I was excited. I'm like, oh gosh, I can listen to him so much over and over. And the day I heard the very first song, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm hooked. I can't stop listening. And it was just like, so I mean, he's still a staple of my music today, not only with the new kids, but all of them, even their solo albums are still a part of that staple. But I was so excited, because that made me feel like, everything I've been through in my life, it helped me through in some way.
Right. So that was going to be my next question, because for a lot of us, we've had trials and tribulations in our life. We've gone through some bad times and stuff like that. And I know with me listening to New Kids, it got me through that. That was the same for you?
Yes, exactly. No matter, it didn't seem like it mattered, at that point in time when I listened to their song, no matter how bad what I went through was happening, I still felt a relief after I've listened to their song, because I knew, like, at that, like, it didn't matter what the song was. It's like it seemed like it resonated somehow and made me feel a little bit better, if not completely better.
Yeah, they helped through a lot of stuff. And so did you get to see Danny on tour, like when he did his own tour? Did you see him?
No, I didn't. I was a single mom, couldn't afford it. So, then I got married, divorced, had a few more kids since then. So I just really wasn't able to afford a lot of stuff. So, I mean, I didn't get to go to that. But, I always told myself, if he ever does it again, I'm going. And so I'm hoping, like, maybe in the near future, if he does it, I can go to those too. But yeah, I always would see, people would leave clips of them or something. So I could watch it that way,
Yeah,
but it's not the same as being there.
No, of course not. Of course not. But I know that earlier on there was a show, I can't remember the name of the show, and they were trying to get New Kids together for a one night only event, and it didn't happen. Did you see that show? I believe it was
No.
on TV. Yeah, there was a show that was trying way back before they got back together, trying to get them together for a one night only. And then it just didn't happen. They were like, no, because they want to do it on their own terms, on their own
Right.
time, which I can respect. And then,
Right.
but I was so excited, right? Because I was like, oh, maybe this is it. How did I miss it? But then they didn't get together. And then you had Jordan, you had Joey, and you had Danny. I was like, that's more than half. You got three,
Right.
two more
Exactly.
to go. What's going on? And then Donnie started acting, and we started seeing him
Oh
on the
yes.
screen, right? How did you?
Yes.
What was like the first thing you remember seeing Donnie in?
Sixth Sense.
The Sixth Sense.
And I didn't even recognize it was him at first, but then I started looking, like, why does he look familiar? Like, he looks familiar to me. And then I heard his voice. I'm like, oh, is that Donnie? Is that Donnie? And then I looked at the credits and found out it was him. And I'm like, he is so skinny. Like, wow, that's not the Donnie I'm used to. And then I started seeing other shows with him. And Blue Bloods has been my current favorite.
Well, well, let me admit something. I seen The Sixth Sense when it came out in the movie theater. I knew Donnie was in the movie. I watched the entire thing and was like, where the hell is Donnie? Where was Donnie? I sat through the whole movie. I didn't see Donnie not once. I had to watch it a few times before I figured out that he was in the beginning. I was like,
Right.
oh my God, that transformation.
Well, it was hard to recognize him. I mean, it was like I really had to look. I'm like, and then, like I said, I heard his voice, and I'm like, wait a minute.
No, it didn't even get me with the voice. I was just like, I don't know. I was really looking for Donnie in the way that he looked at that moment,
Right.
that I was staring, and It
Right.
flew over my head. It flew over my head, girl. I don't know.
Well, but nobody expected them to be a little skinny, skinny thing, and looking all frail and everything. Nobody expected that. I think that's why most of us who didn't know who it was didn't recognize him.
I know. Oh my God. But then 2008 happened.
Oh.
Do you remember where you was when you heard for the first time that they were going to be on the Today Show?
Yes, I was actually in my living room, actually watching TV when the announcement came over that they were going to be doing that, and I got so excited.
Did you
We could
lose
get
your
back
mind?
together. Yes, I did, and my kids and everybody was saying, "I'm like, what's going on?" Hey, I'm sorry, new kids just got back together. They're going to be on the Today Show and all this, and I'm just like talking a mile a minute and like just so excited and
Yeah,
everything.
well, yeah, they were going to make an announcement. We didn't know that they were back together.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, at that point.
and I was like, what is this announcement? It has to be that they got back together. I mean, what else are they gonna, all five of them together? It has to be that.
Right.
So I found out that they were going to be there and I camped out because I live here in New York. So I camped out. So I was
Oh,
there in person for that announcement.
oh, that's nice. I bet that was pretty awesome there.
It really was. And then, so when they finally said it, they said the words new album, new everything, and then a tour. Tell me everything that went through your mind, your body. Like, what happened?
Just that I could be that person I was again when I saw him in the first place, and I could, except a little older, but I could be excited. I could see things, I could see shows again. I could, start collecting more stuff. I could just be happy and in my elements because they were back, and they were back for however long we were gonna get them.
I damn near lost everything. I was like, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to school. I'm not gonna be a mom. I'm just gonna go and be a fan.
Right. Be that
And
and
then
all
they
that.
announced it. Yes. Oh my God. Then they got back together, new album, new tour. Bam. Now, did you get to go to any of their concerts since they got back together?
I did go to 2017 and then some of the recent ones, but I didn't go anything from 2008 till about 2017. And then 2017, I did go to one and then skipped 18 and 19. And then I went to 22, year 20.
Okay, so let's talk about that first one in
Yes.
2017.
Mhm.
Let's take you back to that moment because I want you to feel everything when you tell us the story so we can feel it with you. So tell us about the process of getting the tickets and all of that.
Well, actually, I had been just kind of scrolling and on online, I believe it was, and just saw where they had tickets for a New Kids concert in Kansas City, Missouri. Um, and I was like, oh my gosh, can I afford to go to this? Because I really want to go. Because the only one I had ever been to ever in my life before that was the very first one when they were doing the Magic Summer Tour. I
Okay.
did go to that one as a young kid, but like I wanted to go to one as an adult.
Right.
So, I found the tickets. I bought 3 tickets. I took my 17, well, she was, at that time, she was 17. I took my 17-year-old daughter and my best friend, and we all went. We didn't realize that our seats were so good. We were by the B stage, like our seats were literally right beside the B stage.
Okay, so before you tell us about that,
Mm-hmm.
tell me about so you said you went with your daughter and your best friend, right? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So did you guys have any rituals like getting ready for the concert, getting your swag on, listening to music? Like what was your thing to get yourself hyped for the concert?
We always pumped ourselves up by doing the music and singing the songs out loud, and just kind of getting things. And we'd pretend we'd have our hairbrushes or whatever as microphones, and we just kind of
Yours.
danced around, listened to music while we were getting dressed and ready,
Yeah.
things like that. That was our we called it our goofing off time, but it was so fun.
So now the day of, now you're getting ready. Now you're
Yeah.
actually leaving the door to go to the concert. Tell us everything that happened to the point where you got there.
Well, we had traveled. It takes about an hour from home. when we just kind of drove there, we listened to the music on the way. We talked about all the fun stuff we, might be able to do, and how it'd be cool if we could ever meet him, but we knew we couldn't get the meet and greets, but we were going to have fun anyway. And we were just talking about different things, like different things that, I wonder if this will happen, or if this will happen, and my daughter being 17, she really didn't know them that well, but my friend and I had to educate her, with me being the one who knew the most about them. Because my friend knew a little bit, but she wasn't as into them as I was. So I told my daughter, she's like, "Oh, this will be fun." So then, we're also listening to Boys to Men, because they were scheduled to be there too. And Paul Abdul. So we're listening to all of them on the way there too. And so we kind of just made it a mix to where we could listen to, New Kids, Boys to Men, Paul Abdul, and just kind of jammed out to that. So.
Oh my God. So, okay. So then now you get there. Now you start to really get excited because you notice that there are hundreds of other blockheads around.
Yes.
Did you make any friends with any other blockheads? Because that's the one thing that we tend to do as blockheads. We make family out of these people. So has that happened for you?
Yes. With a few of them, I've made quite a few actually. So, I mean, it was nice to have those people around, and to know that they're probably feeling the same exact thing you are, and you can talk with them, and they know what you're talking about, and they've been through everything pretty much probably that you've been through, with the excitement and everything. And most of them that I talked to were so nice. And there was one point, me and another blockhead and my friend and my daughter were talking. I happened to look around to see who else was there, and there was Danny's dad standing behind us. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool." I didn't get a chance to talk to him or get a picture or anything because he was so busy, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's Danny's dad." And then one of the other blockheads is like, "Oh my gosh," so they're just we're all getting excited and talking about that. So, and then we just just talked about random things till the concert started.
Okay, so now the lights go off.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened when the lights went off and you knew.
Butterflies in my stomach. Big time butterflies in my stomach. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like jumping up and down, screaming, and just so happy for that moment. And everything flashed before me, all the old feelings just came rushing right back. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so exciting," and I just was like, I couldn't believe it. And I'm just waiting, as soon as they took the stage, they don't let you see them right at first. They had all that introduction on the screen, and I'm going, "Oh, just hurry up, get through it. I want to see the guys."
It's like, come on, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I loved everybody else, but it was just I just wanted to see the new kids.
And then they came out, and then
Yeah.
you see Danny right in front of you, right there.
Oh,
What were you thinking? What went through your mind?
I was like, "Oh my gosh, he is so hot." In person, he's that hot on TV, but oh my goodness gracious, this man is so much hotter in person. And I was just like, and I had a sign. I made a sign. It was I made a milk carton on the sign that said, "Danny Wood does the body good."
Oh my God, that's
He was
awesome.
coming up on B stage, and I was holding the sign up, and I flashed it at him, and he just gives me the biggest grin ever, and just smiles, and he just shakes his head. Then he goes and does his break dancing over here on the stage right by me, and I'm going, "Yes." He's break dancing.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah.
Just to be able to get that attention, and the fact that he noticed your sign, you had to lose your mind.
Oh, I did. I was like, I don't know. My daughter's looking at me like, "Oh my God, Mom, what are you feeling right now?" I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like a teenager. I feel like your age right now."
Right? Be like, wait, I want to break that. No, then you realize you can't move like him.
I know it. Dang it. Ah!
Oh,
I'm so excited. He saw it. He acknowledged it. I mean, he didn't have to say anything about it. All he had to do was give me that smile and kind of shake his head a little bit. I mean, because a grin, it wasn't a typical grin. It was one of those really ornery grin that he gets on his face.
no. Mm-hmm.
And he's
Mm-hmm.
just and I was like,
I know, girl. I know.
And so it was just funny, and it was cute, and that made my night. That one little gesture just made my entire night because, Danny saw it. He acknowledged it. So
So it was worth it, and you was like, I can die now. I'm good. I'm just, you know.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So then obviously you had the night of your life. You guys
Yeah.
are leaving the concert now. Depending where you're from, they either, I know that Donnie usually either goes to a Waffle House or a Wahlburgers after the show. Did you guys go anywhere after the show to celebrate the guys?
We did not. My friend had to get home because she had to get up, and we left probably about 1 or 2 in the morning. Um, and she had to get up to go to work, so we really didn't get a chance to go anywhere. I wish we would have, because that would have been really amazing to do. But we wanted to respect her wishes so she could get home to go to work.
Okay.
But no, I mean, I was curious. I'm like, because I think there is a Waffle House in that area, so I'm like, that's probably where they're at. So
Yeah, that's usually, like I said, depends where their
uh,
concert is. So then that was like the first one that you went to in 2017. So tell us
yeah.
about the last one that you went to.
Well, I went to 3 of them this year. So the very last one was in Nebraska in June. And that was probably out of the 3 that I've been to, because I went to St. Louis, I went to Kansas City, and I went to Nebraska. Um, and out of all 3 of them, the last one was the best because my tickets got messed up.
Oh,
Tickets that I bought had gotten messed up. Like I went in and it was like I was trying to have them scan my tickets, and she said, "Oh no, we closed off that section." And I was like in a section that was up in the risers, like right by the stage and whatever. And she's like, "Oh no, you have to go over to that table and get other tickets." Well, that was a benefit to me because we ended up getting second row from the B stage yet again.
oh my God.
This time my son went with us because he liked Rick Astley, and I had already told him, if I get tickets to another concert, I was going to go. I had not originally planned on going to the Nebraska show. I had just planned on going to the St. Louis and Kansas City, and then I was going to be done. And then I was just happened to sit here one day, and I'm like, I really want to go to another show. I just really want to go. I've got the money to go. I just really want to go. And it happened to be my oldest daughter and her husband's anniversary, and so I was like, well, I was scheduled to watch my grandson that night. And I was like, oh man, I got to watch him, but I really want to go. I told my daughter about it. She's, Mom, the other set of grandparents can watch the baby, so you can go.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up her and me and her husband and my son all went to Nebraska, and they celebrated their anniversary separate from the concert in Nebraska, but dropped me and my son off in Nebraska at the concert.
Okay.
So we went in and got our tickets, sat in, we didn't even realize we were going to be in the second row from the B stage. And we got in there. I'm like, oh my God, we're right here. Like we can see them so well. And I was so excited, because I was like, they are going to be on B stage quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we got, Naughty by Nature, when they came up there, we got to see New Kids. We got to see everybody who came up there, and it was really good view. And then when they came out into the crowd, that was super exciting because the first one who came out into the crowd was Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
He came running by, and there was another little girl that was trying to get a picture with one of them. So I was trying to get Donnie's attention. Well, he took my phone and he took a picture of me and him together.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I didn't think I was going to get anybody else. I was like, I'm content with just getting Donnie. It's awesome, because he put his head on my chin, or his chin on my head, and he just kind of grinning really wide, got his Donnie hat on, everything, and had his arm around me. And then it was like, oh, I'm so happy I just got that one. So I sent it off to one of my best friends, and she's like, oh, look at you, girl. Maybe you'll get Danny next. And then I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, that little girl's still looking for one of them to get a picture with. I looked down, just happened to look down after one of the other sets, and I'm like, there's Danny.
Oh my God.
He was literally 10 feet away. He turns around to come down the way, and I just step out there, just very nonchalant, which I don't even know how I was so calm. I was like, Danny, can I take a picture with you, please? And then when I'm done, that little girl would love a picture with you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, sure. He goes, but you need to put I had to lay my chin on his shoulder because he's like kind of like it, I kind of like leaned on it a little bit, and
Yeah.
he wasn't grinning, but he wasn't frowning. He kind of had this like content look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
And so my son's standing towering over because my son is way tall, and so he's standing over Danny and I in the background, and you can see me and Danny, and I'm just sitting there grinning really big, and Danny's just like, you know, kind of. That was so exciting. My heart was so thumping so loud. I was like,
Yeah.
I may have ever had a meet and greet, but I had got a picture with him, and he was so nice and so sweet about it. And and I asked him. Some people don't even ask him; they just do it. And so I'm just like, I'm gonna ask him because I'm asking for the little girl too. So I was just asking him, and he's like, sure, and he was so sweet. I was just like, oh my God, this made my night. I knew there was a reason I was drawn to Nebraska, why I was supposed to go to Nebraska, because I wasn't planning on going in the first place, but something drew me there. And that was like the most exciting one of all, because that was the night I got
Got a
that one.
picture with your man.
Yes. And I was so happy about that. Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh my God. So you got basically way more than what expected, which is awesome, right? When stuff like
Right.
that
Oh yeah.
happens, right? And
Yeah.
then it's the man that you're in love with, like that's your favorite, like it just
Yeah.
happens to be your favorite.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you was like, before I said I could die, but I could die now. Now I could really, like, this is
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah. I'm like, I told my son, I said, you know what? I could die happy right now because this is like the moment I have been waiting for. I've never gotten a meet and greet, but I don't, at that moment, I was like, I didn't care that I didn't have a meet and greet because I had him all to myself at that point.
For that moment,
At
yeah.
that, for that small little moment that we took the picture, I was like, this to me is better than any meet and greet. Because, yeah, you get a picture with them, but most of the time you get a picture as a group, which I wouldn't have minded if that was the case. But to get a picture with him by himself,
Mm-hmm.
in that moment, knowing he was my favorite guy,
Yeah.
oh my God, my heart was thumping so loud and I was so excited. And I kind of cried a little bit. And, after the picture, I looked at my son and I was like, I had tears streaming down my face. And he's like, Mom, you're happy. I said, I'm very happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so awesome. See, I love stuff. This is why I do this show, because I love to reminisce and I love
Oh,
to, bring us back. And then everyone that watches this can relate. All the Blockheads that are fans, they can relate. So now
oh,
you're bringing them back to that and all the emotion that goes with it. Like, I love this fan base, we're
right.
family, we've been called all kinds of stuff like we crazy and this and that. Yup, and I wear
Right.
that as a badge of honor.
I'm glad
And
to admit that I am.
yeah,
If that's what it means for me to be a crazy person, then bring it on because
mhm, yeah,
I'm glad I'm crazy.
yeah. The problem is that New Kids has spoiled me so much that when I meet other celebrities and I don't get the kind of attention that they give us, it's so disappointing, right? It's like they set the bar so high. So
Oh
now
yeah,
it's like, ugh,
exactly. So you kind of expect it from everyone that you meet, like for that to happen. And it's like, and I have to admit that I don't think even after getting this picture with Danny, I actually don't think that any other celebrity is ever going to top that for me.
yeah, no, they probably won't.
Spoiled me. He spoiled me with that picture, and nothing. Even if I can meet 20 million other celebrities after that and get a picture, it's not going to be anything compared to that for me.
Mhm. No, I hear you. I hear you. So now, you are part of Team Betty.
I am. We just opened Team Betty, Kansas here in June. So I'm really excited about that. I'm currently gathering donations right now because we are going to be having our silent auction in November. So I've been doing what I can to get donations for that. We've had a few businesses that are donating, and we're welcoming donations from any of any individual or any business. So I'm just currently working on that right now and trying to get that together for November.
And so, how can they contact you?
You can go on my Facebook at Team Betty Kansas, and we are also Team Betty Kansas on Instagram and Twitter. You can contact us at teambettykansas@gmail.com. So any of those outlets, you can find us.
So now you're actually working for your man's. I mean, that
Yeah,
is like
right.
right. That's like the ultimate. Like, I'm more than a fan. I'm like supporting you, and I'm doing this, and right. That is amazing. That is amazing. So I'm gonna say what I say on every show. Okay, I do not know the New Kids in person. None of us do.
No.
I can't guarantee that you're gonna meet them or they're gonna say
Right.
this, but in the event that they do see this video, because like I said, we're not affiliated with them, but in the event that they do, what would be your message to the guys?
Pretty much just thank you for sorry. Thank you for everything.
Oh,
You guys have meant so much to me in my life, and it's meant a lot. Everything has. You guys have helped me in so many ways you don't even realize. Through divorces, through traumatic experiences, through the death of my mom, everything. And I don't think there's enough thank yous in the world that can make it to tell you how grateful I am.
yeah.
I
Oh,
love
I love you, woman. I'm giving you a virtual hug right now.
I was trying not to do that.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay, because I mean, they mean so much to us. A lot of people don't realize that. Like when you get past the, oh, you're crazy, or the blockheads are insane, or whatever. When you get past that and you look deep, these guys do not realize they've really helped us. Some of us are still alive because of them. So
Oh,
I understand. I get it, girl. I get it. I get it. Thank you for being on my show. This was a good
for
experience.
having me.
Yeah, I love the stories. I love sharing the stories. And if you guys want to be on the show, you already know how to reach me. Just hit a girl up, that Wahlburgers chick. I'm all over the place, right? And then you can come on my show and you can tell your story. Until then, you got to do this with me, girl. Stay safe, stay humble, and that's always what we do. Stay fabulous. I gotta hear you. I gotta hear you.
Stay fabulous.
Fabulous. Bye, guys. Love you. Till next time.